What's that? I'm Iron Man from the music group theLottory. Showtime Records. We got something a little bit special for y'all today.
Baseball stuff!
For full disclosure, I am here in Houston, Texas. I am not a super baseball fan. I'm not a super Astros fan, even though I do root for them when they are playing. But it's not that serious. Trust me, I don't hold any type of bias. I'm all about getting to the truth. With that said, your man Joe Kelly, the pitcher for the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers who played the Astros a couple years ago. Astros took home that chip. Found out. People discovered that the Astros had done a little bit of cheating. They had a little bit of help with some trash can banging and all this. But ended up, they didn't really get any suspensions of the players. All the fines and the penalties basically went to the managers and the owners of the organization. Fans, especially of the Dodgers, did not appreciate that. They said, man, the players should have got suspended. Hey, look, I'm not saying they should have got suspended or should have got suspended. They should have gotten punished under the full accordance of the agreement that the Players Association has with Major League Baseball. Now, I'm not privy to those exactly rules and statutes that they have, but if it says that they should have been suspended, they should have been suspended. If it says the owner should have gotten, hey, the owner should have gotten. It says the commissioner of the league has full discretion on the punishments that he should dole out, then it should be the full discretion of the commissioner and all the fans. I mean, you can't just say, hey man, they're playing under a certain agreement and certain rules, and then something happens, you say, hey, I don't care about those rules and punishments, I say it should be this. That's not how life works. That's not how business works, and they definitely wouldn't have allowed him to just do whatever they wanted to do. They would have gotten sued. It would have been a whole ruckus and uproar, and we don't definitely want that. I'm saying they should have gotten punished to the full extent of the agreement that they had with the league. Now, besides that, I'm thinking, I don't know if y'all realize or not, but I don't watch baseball all the time, but I do know that you can do it off the record, interview any team, any player on one of those teams in the MLB. They will tell you that they all cheat, they all steal signs. It's just something that's been done in the league probably since day one, since sign stealing became a thing. I can't even talk right now. Since that became a thing, I'm sure they have been doing it. It's just one of those unsaid rules that they do that. Unfortunately, the Astros, they took it to another level. They got this organized crime. You know, someone goes in there, steals a candy bar. You know, they're not gonna call the FBI in there. But if you got a ring of people stealing candy bars and sodas and alcohol, you know, from different convenience stores and Walmarts all across the city, then that's organized crime, and they've got a problem with that. And that's when the heavy hitters are gonna come in, and that's what happened with the Astros. They got serious with it. They got organized with it. It was a concerted effort. They got found out, and they should have gotten punished. You know, it is what it is. But Joe Kelly got suspended for 8 games because they played the Astros, and oh boy, he came throwing the baseball over somebody's head and didn't hit Alex Bregman. Didn't hit him. They continued on playing the game. But see, the problem with that is, before I even get into that, do you know how hard a baseball actually is? Everybody's saying, oh man, he didn't even hit him. It's just ridiculous. Oh, they should get punished. You know, they didn't get suspended. You know, so he should go out there. We don't want vigilantes running around doling out justice when the people feel that the people that have been hired and elected, those officials to hand out those punishments, didn't do the job. So we got vigilant. We don't want a bunch of Batmans and Punishers running around here doling out punishment punishment and justice and vigilantism, okay? And vengeance is fine. Listen, no one wants that. You gotta play by the rules. When you don't play by the rules, you should be punished according to those rules. But baseballs are extremely hard. Everybody talking about, yeah, hit them a couple times with the baseball. Are you out of your mind? Just think about that when you say, yeah, I want you to whiz that baseball, hit him a couple times and plunk him with him. Think about that was your mom out there in the batter's box. Would you want somebody throwing an 80 mile per hour, 85 mile per hour, however, how many miles per hour it is, throwing that hard baseball into your mom, into your wife, into your daughter, into your son? Would you appreciate it? Would you be all cool with it? Hey man, listen, Joe Kelly wasn't even on that Dodgers team that supposedly got cheated out of a championship. Matter of fact, he was on the Boston Red Sox team that also got punished because it was found out that they were also cheating, doing the exact same thing. Probably just not as a concerted and organized effort, but they were cheating as well. So, I mean, doesn't it make any sense? If you were saying he just wanted to get some revenge and justice and it's the right thing, he wasn't even on that team. So listen, he threw it, whizzed it over his head. He didn't get thrown out the game then. He didn't get for Alex Bregman. He threw it over his head. Didn't get thrown out the game. But later on, okay, Correa came up to bat for the Astros. He struck out Correa, and then he said, apparently had some vulgar language, to somebody with a terrible swing, okay? And then made some faces on him. He was taunting the guy. And they have rules against taunting. You're like, oh man, he didn't actually do anything. And then the benches cleared a little bit, but there was no fighting, there was no melee. See, that's the problem. Just because, now the reason why he got suspended 8 games is because he has a history of intentionally hitting batters. He has a history of that. So when they see that, it's like, oh, you've been doing this before, and you weren't even on the team. And I'm sure that both teams were warned, especially the Dodgers, before the season even started, do not seek out revenge because we're going to come down on you harsh. We know y'all want to. Don't do it because the penalties will be swift and severe. And they went on that. They were told explicitly, and he did it. Joe Kelly went out there and he did it anyway. So of course he got punished. It might have been 1 or 2 games, but he has a history of that, and they were also told explicitly not to do it. That's why it was so severe. Not only that, he was taunting Correa, which could have led out to a bench clearing brawl, melee, but who knows how many people getting suspended. It would just been another ugly mark on the game of baseball, and they barely got the season started. It's on the brink right now. The Marlins had half their team were diagnosed with COVID-19, so they had to suspend a couple of games and to hold them back. They don't want no problems. Hey, in the eyes of the public, it's teetering on there. It can collapse at any time. So they don't want any problems. They're going to nip this in the bud. And they're definitely not going to have any problems with the LA Dodgers or the Houston Astros. If you enjoyed this video, make sure people talking about, man, he didn't even hit him with the baseball. He didn't even hit him. Somebody comes out there and starts firing a gun. And no one gets hit. Is that okay? You don't want to suspend it? Hey, but look. I understand you want those guys punished. The Astros punished for cheating, but these are different circumstances. It's a different situation. This doesn't necessarily correlate to this. Like that should be handled on its own accord, and this should be handled on its own accord. Talking about, it didn't even hit him. Oh well, it was shooting. I didn't hit anybody though. I shouldn't be punished. What are we saying? This is craziness. I mean, think about that baseball. Man, people have died and been hit in the head with a baseball. I mean, they've been died seriously injured. It's not a game. It's not a game. Well, it is a game, but that part is not a game. It's very serious indeed. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Be blessed, and Godspeed.